Yes. Now we will move on to the two important topics, that is change in demand and change in quantity demanded, or shift in demand or movement along a demand curve. So first I am moving on to movement along a demand curve or change in quantity demanded. Don't forget change in quantity demanded. In exams they will ask only differentiate between change in quantity demanded and change in demand. Both look same, like both here same, but it is different. Okay, so change in quantity demanded, we are moving on to change in quantity demanded or movement along a demand curve. We will move on to the movement along a demand curve. See here, movement along a demand curve or change in quantity demanded, here we represent this in a single demand curve, or here you can say that only price of the commodity changes, all other factors are remaining same. Okay, as I told you when we discussed, so that means movement along a demand curve we depict in the single diagram because only the price of the product changes. All other factors are remaining constant. So this is the remaining part of law of demand. Okay, so contraction and expansion, as you can see in the diagram, movement along a demand curve means when only the price of the product changes, what happens to the commodity or quantity. So price, quantity. When price increases, quantity decreases. When price decreases, quantity increases. So towards this side, it is increase in quantity. That means expansion. Towards this side, quantity is getting reduced. That is contraction. So in a single demand curve, the lower portion determines expansion of the commodity and the upper part of the curve determines contraction of the demand curve. So that means it is the movement along a demand curve. So very well here you can see expansion and contraction. Don't get confused. Down part is expansion because quantity is being increased here, or quantity demanded is being increased here. Moving on to the right side. Moving on to the left side, quantity is getting reduced because price is increasing. That is why it is contraction. So expansion and contraction. So now moving on to till here the other things are constant. That means it is ceteris paribus. Now moving on to shift of demand curve or change in demand means all the factors changes. Okay, all the factors changes, all those factors or all the all the factors which we have discussed will be started to change. Now shift in demand curve or change in demand. See here it is change in quantity demanded and here it is change in demand. So change in demand means overall shift of the demand curve. Okay, income of the consumer increase means demand will increase. Taste and preference in favor means demand will increase. Then more credit facilities means demand will increase. So all such things will result a rightward shift of demand curve showing increase in demand. So that this is the initial demand curve. It has shifted rightward, that is we show shift with a dotted line. So that means demand curve has been shown a rightward shift showing a increase in demand. Same way when income is less or taste and preference is not in favor, then there is no more credit facilities means demand curve will shift leftward. Okay, so this is the original demand curve. This has shift leftward showing a leftward shift. This has shown a leftward shift because the demand has decreased. Okay, so I guess it is very clear now. Change in demand or shift of demand curve. Rightward shift, leftward shift. And here it is along a single demand curve, that is expansion and contraction. Expansion towards the down part and contraction towards the upper part. And that is change in quantity demanded. This is change in overall demand. Okay, don't forget. So that means you have to take notes. You have to draw these diagrams also. I'll be posting the photos for the reference. So these are the law of demand. So now today we have covered with the demand curve, like the concept demand, some other types of demand, determinants of demand, law of demand, then coming to the movements along a demand curve and shift in demand. So these, with this we complete the demand part. Now we have to move on to the elasticity of demand part, but in the next class. So now it is completed. So thank you.